Yes, Spurs. We carve out ways to lose, not even lost. We didn't even lose, felt like a loss. We carve out ways to throw games away. We are just that team. But I called a draw. I said I was going to wear the hoodie tonight. Darius's 3K hoodie. Well, it's not even a hoodie, it's a dressing gown, but I decided I was going to wear my own thing. But I'm going to bring these guys in, as we're always going to do. Welcome to the stream, Sean, Darius. By the way, welcome to Paxton Road PRTV reaction show for the game. You can see I'm just drained of all my energy that I usually have for Spurs. It has been for a while now, but we are going to talk about this game. So thank you for joining us. We will get on with the stream. Let's do this. The score: Everton 1, Spurs 1. Premier League game just finished. I guess I'll start every frail. Well, firstly, I called the draw. I said to Sean just before the start of the show, not in the way that it's panned out, but I called a draw. I thought Everton would put pressure on her. But when you see the same frailties come out, the lack of, I don't understand. Don Goodman was saying on Sky, he couldn't fathom. I know that word for a little while. Couldn't fathom what was going on when they went to 10 men. We then scored. It was like we had 10 men, and there was one stat, 5 minutes when they were with 10 men after we had scored, when they had 83% possession. 83% possession for a team with 10 men when you are winning 1-0 and you are coasting. You're pretty much coasting. They haven't scored many goals. They always seem to just nick one. They have a way of playing. And what Lucas Moura was doing, oh boy. Lucas Moura, he can't trap a bag of cement, but he almost broke this guy's leg. He didn't even know what he's doing. He didn't even know what he's doing, because that's what he's like as a player now. He don't know what he's doing. And it's terrible to see that this Spurs team, Conte called it, they ain't got the mentality. They haven't got it. Now, whether or not they were told to defend after going a goal up, possibly, but not with 10 men. Surely everybody on the pitch, every single player on the pitch must think, hold on a minute. That's what we'd normally revert to, but that's with 11 men away from home. I could understand that. 10 men with a team that is just desperate, and the crowd had gone. Oh, wow. Sean, I'll bring you in first, my friend. What do you want to say about that performance without swearing too much? I've done my best to not swear, and I think I got through it.
You've got until 10 minutes. And they don't check.
And then we'll see. Sean, my friend, we can smile because this is all we can do. Otherwise, you're going to make yourself not very well.
What's the point? What is the point? Everything that Conte said 10 days ago, whenever it was, proven correct again. The team that can't play for each other, brainless, absolutely brainless. And it comes from, and I'm sorry, Stellini, you gave that game away. You gave that game away.
Oh, someone's got something in the background. That's all right, gone now.
And it was just, you know, well, Sam, I'll call one substitution.
I'm still on the stream. I'm listening, still. I'm still on the stream.
Yeah. One substitution, replacing Longley with Sanchez. What was that about? In what football universe was that a progressive move? And playing him at left centre back. Sam, you and I have been saying this for 2 years. The guy can't play left centre back.
What in the earth? I don't know what goes.
Honestly, Stellini's just acting on Conte's orders still, even though Conte's not employed.
Conte must have him on WhatsApp.
Forget top four. Forget Europe. It's not happening, boys. It's not happening. I've got to go down there next Saturday.
I don't want to go.
Have our asses handed to ourselves by a team that's got a great recruitment, that's got a good manager, and has got a good philosophy, and a fraction of the budget of Tottenham Hotspur. We are a shambles, and it is. You can only laugh now because otherwise you're crying.
Darius, follow that.
Did anybody put above a 6 out of 10 in that game, apart from maybe Kane for getting the goal? It just, to me, shows that why sack the manager and not sack his second in behind, second in command. I don't get it. You're obviously going to get a guy who's afraid to do anything different because he doesn't want to get even more blame than what is going around at the moment. I mean, people don't really know where to throw the blame at. I think it's pretty much obvious now to me that the board is the current issue, and obviously the players on the pitch are the current issue. But the players are still there because, you know, people refuse to sell these losers and these people who don't really want to put in the effort. And this is the outcome. I mean, we get a goal, we score. I know the penalty was good to get. I think we were playing okay. But like you guys mentioned, to actually fall off that bad, I mean, straight after we scored, should I say, to have 83% possession against us is pretty unforgivable, to be fair. So I don't really know what to say. I think it's pretty unfathomable what the situation is now. I think we can't really do anything about it when you've got somebody who literally has learned under the guy who we just sacked in charge now. So I don't really know what to do. Does he step down as well? Like, does he stay now and just, you know, take all this blame that's going to come his way? Because right now he's just going to continue playing the same formation that's clearly not working with the same players that clearly don't care about what the result is at the end of the day. So some of them may be getting contracts, some of them may be leaving. There's nothing to play for. So it's clearly evident on their faces. I think if they get top four, they do. If they don't, they don't. Whatever happens, happens. I mean, the board may push for it. They want to get top four for whatever reason, financial, beneficial reasons. I don't know. But for me, it's just, there's obviously clearly nothing to play for. And the players understand that as well. So it's boring situation for the next 9 games, I guess. I said that this is a game that's going to really make me, you know what's going to happen in the next 9 games. I thought maybe the players would because of this sort of dislike towards Conte, have a little bit more of a bit of a boost, but it seems like no, this is what's going to happen for the next 9 games. So I'm strapped in, I'm ready. It's going to be boring, but I'm happy back to be with you guys. So that's what I'm happy about first and foremost. So yeah, boring game, awful performance, and what are you going to do?
I'm trying to. Oh, sorry, I've got both me on the screen, so I'm gonna have to.
It's just you at the moment. We can see just 3 of you at the moment. I just saw 3 of us.
Just got to come out. Sorry. There's me again. Sorry.
You megalomaniac, you.
He's duplicated.
He thinks he's duplicated.
Oh my god. I mean, I don't know, Sean, about you. Like, what were you expecting? Were you expecting the same thing? I was expecting. If you have the second in command in charge,
a 1-0 defeat, because there's no two ways about it. Where we're up against the wall, when we have an opportunity to go third, we'll throw it away. I mean, I just expected and I'm sorry, the continued picking of Sonny based on what he's done this season is a disgrace, and that should have stopped today. Ali Gold was flagging up that we're going to try some tactical changes. There was nothing different about that performance today than the rest of the season.
And I think that's kind of obvious. It's obvious when you have, like I said, the person who has literally learned most of what he knows sacked. What is he going to do different? Is he really going to make that big change? What does he have to risk? I don't think he's going to take any risks. He's going to do exactly what he's been taught and exactly what he knows. And we've seen that now, that he's going to take over and pretty much do the same thing. So I don't know what you can expect from the next game. I guess we can talk about the red card. Surely that's sort of the last of Lucas that we see in Tottenham Hotspur now. I mean, to come off or to come on around, let me look, the 82nd minute he came on, and to get sent off, I don't know what time it was, if somebody would help me, but it shouldn't have been more than 5-6 minutes. I think it's quite telling of his time at Tottenham at the moment, and it is about time that he moves on a free and gets whatever move he does. But I don't know what you think of that, the substitutions, anything that he could have potentially done to change the game.
Well, let's start with the team lineup. As soon as he called Lloris over Fraser, I said, this is going to be a tough night.
Told you.
It's going to be a tough night.
As
soon as I saw that it was the same lineup and Son was playing, I knew it was going to be a tough night.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter. When we were 11 against 10, effectively, we were 10 against 10. Can you tell me a positive thing that Sonny did tonight?
It was terrible.
Invisible.
It was terrible.
Invisible.
It was terrible.
I mean, incandescent that man still gets picked, and it can only be on economic reasons because his contribution this season has been next to nothing. Next to nothing.
Do you think there was, Sean, just before you go on, I wouldn't have started Son tonight, but given the fact that Richarlison was injured, because we talked about that in the preview, it was Richarlison I was going to start. I don't think Son deserved it. But who would we have played? Danjuma doesn't seem to be even getting a shout, even with the new
there you
What's
are.
going on?
What's the reason now?
Danjuma would have been a good choice.
What is the reason now? Now Conte's gone. Stellini doesn't have sort of any opposition towards the board because he knows he's not going to be here in, past 3-4 months. So what's the reason for not playing him? Like, that's what I want to know now. Does the board have an issue with Danjuma? Has he sort of done something to them? Because to me, like, now Conte's gone. Where is the reason for not playing him? Even if he comes on for Lucas, for Son instead of Lucas, why not play him? I just want to know what the reason is. Like, nothing's making sense to me at the moment. I think it's pretty much it's done now. I think people need to finish any sort of hope of getting into the top 4. It's pretty much set in stone, in my opinion. United, Newcastle, and then City and Arsenal. Whoever finishes first, probably Arsenal. But I don't.
There are at least 2 teams better than us in the shakeout for the Europa League place.
And then there's games in hand as well. I mean, if we're wasting games like this, it's pretty much for me. I think people again need to lower standards and come to realization now that there is nothing to play for, and don't bother getting angry if you don't expect anything. I expect us, like somebody said in the comments, I think it was it Tom Lowry, 7th, 8th, maybe. That is what we're looking at now. So it's one of those things. I think we have to realize that the situation is really bad. And I mean, if we're not going to sign a manager and right now to sort things out, we're going to have to wait till the summer to see a real difference in this team and hopefully in the whole squad.
Guys, I've been struggling with the things in the background to get the things up, but I've got it now. So I'm going to share the screen. We'll still be on there. Okay, so Everton 1, Tottenham 1. Both teams had a man sent off. We inexplainably had a man sent off. They did too, to be fair. I don't know what he was doing, putting his hand up, but our one was shocking. Shocking. 33%, 39% to them, 61% to us. I can't understand that. That should have probably been more to Everton because I don't know where that came from. We didn't have the ball after we scored. 15 shots to them, 8 to us. This is look. I haven't even seen these yet, and I'm looking at these and thinking to myself, wow. 6 shots to them on target, 2 to us. 10 men. 3 corners to 3.
What's the excuse, guys?
There's the mentality. I am telling you now, the mentality of these players is just one where they cannot cope with pressure. Conte said it. They can't play under pressure. If you're 1-0 up, what was the minute Kane scored in? 60th something?
66.
66 minutes. You're 1-0 up, 10 men, 66 minutes with a
2/3 of the game gone.
You go for a second and the game's done.
Yeah, you go for, like as you said, we all know what to do. You do this in normal circumstances. So I don't know what's going through their head. They can't tell me this the pressure of having Conte in the background anymore because he's not there. So it's got to be now down to these players, or they are being told the same things that they were being told before. Now, I've heard different stories about this. Oh, we're not told to sit back. Oh, we would. So what is it then? If they're not told to do that, it's a mentality thing. Because as soon as that goal went in, 5-4-1. That was a shape. 5-4-1, 5-4-1. We didn't break out of that 5-4-1 in any way, shape, or form until they equalised.
No sort of football whatsoever.
It's horrible. It's horrible. They deserved it. Everton deserved it. I'm not going to say that, they played better football because their football was atrocious on both sides, if I'm honest with you. It was an awful game of football. It was just made better because the fact that, we're trying to hang on. We've got, pressure on us. They've got pressure on them. And that was the only reason why it was entertaining from a neutral's perspective. But if I was looking at that game, it was terrible. And magically, as if by magic, we're in 4th place.
Yeah, but look at the key stat there. Played games like...
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. At the moment, we're 4th place. Manchester United are going to do what Manchester
placeholders.
do.
We're placeholders.
You know, we play all the teams that you see around us. In third place, Newcastle. In fifth place, Manchester United, and in sixth place, Brighton. We play Brighton on Saturday. You know, then there's the midweek fixtures where we play Newcastle, Liverpool, and Manchester United, or whatever the order is of that. So we've got everything still in our own hands. But do you believe that this Spurs team can play with that factor in their heads? Oh, if we do what we're supposed to do, we can still be. No, they can't do that because they haven't got that
in our own hands. Oh God. We haven't got any fingers on the ends of those hands. That's the problem. Oh God, it's
oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's go for a few comments. Evening all. Matthew Bassett. He's not a Spurs fan, but he likes watching us. Thank you, Matthew. Big up everyone on the show and in the chat. Welcome. David Clark. What are we going to say? Spurs players have it in their brains. If they go ahead, they think opponents will throw the kitchen sink, so they panic and withdraw into themselves. They are totally gutless. Can't argue with that, my friend. Spurs being Spursy. What happened? Spurs being Spursy. You answered the question yourself,
Nothing
mate.
happened.
Kevin Murray, look out for our next few games. We're in trouble. Well, I would have said we weren't in trouble because the next few games are actually all right. We're at home against Brighton. Don't forget that we're at home. We're at home. That should be an advantage. Look what it did for Everton tonight. But our fans, what are we going to be like when we go to that? If we see
it's
that,
going to be toxic Saturday. It's going to
be horrible. It's going to be horrible because if we play like that, oh, Brighton will absolutely.
I've got a feeling that Levy might not actually turn up to the game.
Disgrace. Everton played better. They should have won. Agreed. Realistic chance of top four.
No.
No,
Sam. Don't even go there, mate.
It's in our hands.
Saw that tonight.
You know what happens when it's in our hands? We falls out of our hands. Can't hold on to anything. Sam,
we're not better than Newcastle. We've got to go to Newcastle.
We're not better than Brighton.
We're not better than Liverpool. We've got to go to Liverpool.
So come on,
Sam. Don't even go there, mate. Don't come up with an argument because it's bullshit.
David Clark, let's carry on.
David Clark, these lot do I have to close my mouth. I do because I'm trying my best. I even said on the preview show, I'm calling a draw. That's as good as me calling a loss for Spurs. 1-1, and I said that. When I actually saw the result, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, in hindsight, that's what I expected. So if I look at it from that perspective, that's actually a point gained in my eyes because I didn't think that
I got the Kane penalty. I got the Kane penalty as well. That's what I'm going to say. I got the Kane penalty.
Listen to my argument.
I'll take that as well.
Before you laugh.
Oh, Sam.
Listen to my argument. You're not listening because I said I thought we were going to lose. If I'm honest with you, when I called a draw, I was calling a loss, if I'm honest with you, because I didn't think these players had the balls. The fact that we've done what we've done to get a point, in hindsight, looking at the game, totally shit. I ain't going to feather that. I'm not going to coat that in no sugar. It was awful. But when we come back and we look at that, maybe on Saturday, let's say if we got a result against Brighton, you might actually think, oh, not too bad. Because if you look, Sean, 1-1, lost 1, 2 draws. And those 2 draws have been away from home as well. But then,
Sean, tell him to stop, please.
I'm trying my best here, lads. Help me out.
I'm
Help
sorry.
me.
I can't.
Sorry, okay. All right, then. I'm done. Over to you guys because I can't do it anymore. I'm trying my best. Sanchez, a bloody left centre back. What are they thinking? What are they thinking? I've said that every single time. When they take off the left, you cannot put him in there. Shift somebody else and put him on the right. Do not play him there. Play somebody else. It doesn't. I don't get it.
We could have tried tonight, right? When we had to take Son off, why didn't we bring on Alfie Devine?
Or even anyone but Lucas.
Alfie Devine, who's tearing it up, is desperate to be in the first team. Everyone's applauded. He's doing it for the England under-21s. Why isn't he getting a game?
So Kevin Murray's
he's on the bench. Pick him, play him.
Hang on, all negative quotes. Sam, how do we fix this? I'm going to give it over to you, Darius.
You're going to give it to me?
I'm going to give it to you first, then I'm going to say what I'm going to say.
I think it's just a case of understanding the situation we're in, understanding the severity of the situation. And for me, like I said, I think a lot of people, I was optimistic about this game. I thought because of the disdain towards Conte, I thought these players might have pulled out quite an impressive performance. But as I was proved, and as they've proved to us, the players are the issue. So we're going to have to now just see out the season. Maybe, I don't know who wants to finish in a European position. If it's not top 4 for me, I don't care about 8th place. I'll be happy to finish out of the European position and properly start again next season. But now, again, and this is for another day, I don't think we have time to talk about this part of our future. But the manager and who we select is so vital to how we get back onto track.
No,
it is
not.
no.
The manager
the thing
has
is, it's got nothing to do with it.
Nothing
No,
to do with it.
but
I'm telling you now.
But at the end of the day, what I'm going to say is,
let him talk. Let him talk.
What I'm going to say
sorry,
is,
I apologize.
what I'm going to say is, it will slow down the inevitable situation that we are currently in. I think it might be Brendan Rodgers who's going to come in, and for me, that just sets a very, very, very bad tone on what's going to happen. However, there are potential managers out there.
That is Brendan Rodgers, FA Cup winner.
To be fair, but that's also Brendan Rodgers, notorious for bottling things associated always with Tottenham, but never wanted to join Tottenham. Brendan Rodgers. And a lot of managers are like that, but I think we can buy or we can hire a manager who potentially may be able to, again, while it may be papering over the cracks, potentially with a bit of an exodus, sort out the team in a way that we might be able to push for something potentially in terms of building an actual project that we've needed. Because at the end of the day, we are not a big club. We cannot buy 60, 70 million pound players to turn our team around like the Man Uniteds, like the Chelseas, and now the Arsenals and Cities and Liverpools can do. We have to start thinking about, the academy that we've like Sean has mentioned, so much broken ourselves apart from, who have and are producing players who are quality, and teams around us, literally rivals of us, are buying our talent. It's a bit stupid. So I think we need to just lower the expectation this season. Now we've seen what these players are going to do. Brighton on the weekend, is it at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could get very, very toxic. I think we're not going to see anything different. I think we're probably going to see the exact same lineup, and it's not going to be good. But guys, you just have to hope that the teams around us fail like they sort of did, apart from Newcastle this weekend. Liverpool lost, United lost, and we didn't really take advantage of any of that. So I think there's not really any fixing this, unfortunately. To answer that question in a very long-winded way, I'm apologizing about that. But yeah, I don't think there's any fixing it. We have to just wait and see what happens in the summer now.
Right. Can I say my pick now? Because I heard you put the manager doesn't matter. I'll tell you that now. I think it's 20 or 21 managers in its time. I think it's 21, something like that. So at what point has there been a project? You can probably say the only project we've had of any lasting note has been Poch, 5 years. So I can't see how we go. We're going to be doing this 2 yearly. Nagelsmann can come in, Pep Guardiola can come in, Jurgen Klopp could come in. It's 2 years because these players do not have it. We haven't got any succession. There is no succession. We're not playing youngsters, so we have to buy our way out of this. If we're not buying the right players because we're not buying for the manager, how does it work? You try to bring a coach in. If you bring a coach in, you've got to give him 5 years, as they've done with Arsenal. We've never done that. So why are we going to start now unless we have changes? Summertime, I don't care what happens in the summer. We could get Pep Guardiola. We could get him if he decides he wants to have a laugh. It doesn't matter. I'll tell you that now. The players that are coming in will come in, and we've seen what happens to the players. Their mentality. Porro, Sporting Lisbon killed us for 2 games when he played us. Killed us. And now, as Basuma is looking like a championship player at times. What's his name? On the left side, Perisic, World Cup finalist, blah, 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 blah. Great fucking player brought in. He's going to solve all these problems because he's got the mentality. He put in 3 good crosses today, and that was about it. He made a couple of corners. What else has he done in his Tottenham time? You cannot tell me that there's any hope for this team unless there was significant changes. And I've said it's got to be with the face. Danny Levy has to. It's the ENIC thing. I can argue with that all day long. But I'm telling you now, unless we have some changes there and we have something else that people are going to be able to focus on, because all this Daniel Levy focus is what's going to cause a problem. We're not getting rid of players. We can't seem to sell players. We have no director of football. That's not going to be sold anytime soon. We're fucked. And people can clip that up as much as they like because we are. We are fucked. Sean.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going along the fix, you may, when you don't have, when your director of football is banned from football, your team is in needing of basically starting again.
So just from that point, Sean, who's picking the manager if there's no director of football? It's going to be back to revert to old school Danny Levy and the group of cronies. So that's what I'm trying to say. What's going to happen if we got no director of football? Sorry.
Well, until I think his appeal is on the 18th of April, 19th of April. I don't know. I mean, at the moment, it must be left in the hand of Levy. But then Levy's gone on a meeting in Asia, as far as I heard. You know, so it's a shit show. You know, it's a clown show, but the clown show is actually on fire. That's how bad it is. I just think we just have to coast through to the end of the season, and things won't get sorted out until the end of the season. You know, we won't be fixed. We won't be fixed next season. It will be at least 2 years before we have any progress.
So let me just add this into the mix. We've got all the situation with Kane over the summertime. We've got all the situation with Lucy.
Oh, come on. Kane is part of the mentality problem.
Oh,
beginning to think that.
No. Okay, without Kane, what are we doing? What are we doing?
There's nothing wrong with Kane. Kane is not also excluded from what Sean is saying, is what I'm basically assuming you're trying to say.
But without him, what I'm trying to look to is the summertime, when we're going to have to make a major decision.
He'll garner more money than any player in this team. And if we're really not relying on any extra money from the board, we're going to need to make as much money on the guy as possible, because otherwise he'll go on a free the year after. And I don't really think that makes any sense.
On a free. I hope, and this is my hope, my God's honest truth, I hope he stays and he walks next year. I will actually say well done, Kane, for doing that for us.
Staying one more season.
Yeah, because he'd be doing us a favour. If he goes in the summertime, whatever new manager comes in is not going to get a Harry Kane to be replaced. It's as simple as that. 100 million could come in. We could have 200 million come, which is very, very, very unlikely.
Never.
But it's not going to get spent in the way, because we have a major rebuild. We have a 4 or 5 year rebuild to clear out, to build players up. We're not using youngsters, so we can't even look to the youngsters. They're not trying them. I want to see Ryan Mason throw these players on now. Scott, see who's on the bench. Munda was on the bench today. There was a players on the bench that, what are they doing there?
We had two goalkeepers on the bench. Two goalkeepers on the bench.
2 goalkeepers.
For God's sake. In what world do you need 2 goalkeepers on the bench?
If maybe the one that's starting wasn't 100%, but you wanted to desperately throw him in, and you weren't too sure if he was going to make it.
Even worse,
don't pick him and pick the guy who's been in goal for the last 6 days.
That's the worst. If that was the management thinking, that is the worst management thinking.
Because it seemed very desperate and quick that he came straight back in. And like I said, doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. You throw him in because he's the captain. Whatever you assume, he was going to start this game.
This club is too loyal to too many players.
Way too many players.
Nuno would have made us proud. Nuno, where are you for out there, Nuno? Jeez, that is killing me today. The damn club's killing me. The damn club is killing me too. Darius, yep, you're right. Yep, thank you very much. Darius, David Clark, Perisic is going through the motion. He's the worst of the worst. He needs a Dave Mackay fist grabbing around his collar. I agree. Somebody needs to do something.
Well, he's going in the summer. He lost his guy Conte, and he'll probably follow him wherever he goes and be that player that's loyal to his manager. So I'm not bothered about Perisic. I understood that.
Yeah, he's as I told you, he's the Croatian Gareth Bale is him. Watch Porro in an international game. He was eaten alive.
Hold on, I have to row back on David Clark on his criticism of Porro tonight.
Porro was fine.
Porro was fine, and the reason he didn't cross is if you looked in the box, there were sweet FA players in a white shirt there. So what else could he do but take a shot?
I think Porro wasn't that bad either.
That's not Porro's fault. Don't go get on Porro's fault. He at least tried. He was he was one of the most positive things about our first half performance for Sarr. But I think we're all in the case of losing it. But there are certain players who do not justify their wages, and Son has not justified his wage again tonight. And if I see him playing on Saturday, I'm going to stay in the bar. Fuck it. I'm not
He's definitely going to start. Unless he's injured, he's starting.
Listen, if Conte didn't have the kahunas to drop him too many times. Now, I can't believe it can be down to kahunas that Conte didn't drop him. it must be another factor. There must be another factor in it.
Well, I was starting to think that it written into some contracts for some players is if I'm fit, I play.
Just to keep him happy because he might think about turning his head. And
No. I think there might be Sean might be touching on some things because I've heard appearances for certain players. It's kind of like in the contracts, unwritten sort of thing, which you don't. There's so many details that we talked about that we don't get talked about in there, and that might be one of them. Because one of the things in Kane's contract was that he's the highest player at Spurs. So whoever comes in, he's always going to be the highest player. And there's all days all go on. Doesn't matter at the moment, but I agree. Son playing has been a mystery.
That was 10 against 10.
It was a mystery to me.
10 against 10. It didn't matter that they went down to 10 players because we were only playing with 10 players anyway. God.
To compound, we actually bought in a player that we nicked from Everton that Everton will probably utilise very well, and we sat him on the bench and played him in an FA Cup game. Have we not gone through to the next round of the FA Cup after that anyway? So what the fuck is going on? Why have we got this brother sitting on the bench who's going to be going back in the summer? Is it a loan deal for just till the summer? So we ain't bought him, have we? We ain't got this player. He's a loan deal. So what is going on at Spurs? Why are you loaning a player to warm the bench? And why are you warming the bench with 2 goalkeepers as well? If the thinking is that what you said, Darius, which kind of is weird, they weren't sure if the keeper was going to make it through the game. Do you understand why this is what this is? But this is schoolboy stuff. And those 2 guys in charge now, because it's 2 of them, it's not just Stellini. He's just the face now. Ryan Mason's got as much culpability, in my opinion, for them. Not because I'm not talking about the result today. I'm just talking about them 2 in terms of their equal share of responsibility. It's definitely a 2-man thing. But Stellini's going to have to be the man that's sitting in the front making these press conferences. But Stellini's only 33. He's only 33. No, I'm only joking. Looks like he's about 90 already. The brother's going to age even more so over the next 3 months. I feel
to give him that holy water fountain of youth.
I do. Sorry, Sean. What was you going to say?
Nothing.
What
else? There's nothing else. There's nothing else I can really say. This is going to spiral out like a kind of, a wounded fighter pilot spiraling down. We've been,
let's see what happens in the middle.
The squad needs restarting from number 1. We could go through the squad. Lloris, sell, get rid of. Poro, keep. Dyer, get rid. Longley, get rid.
Sessegnon,
Perisic, get rid. God, and I think of those brother. I think of poor Destiny Jodi who's tearing out for Udinese this season, and he's going to turn up to this shit show. Oh my God!
The manager, like I said, the manager may change some of what we need to change, but at the end of the day, I think Stellini isn't going to. I do think there are managers out there who can help. They can help. But what I'm not trying to say is they're not going to fix anything.
Right, okay. I'm going to say this again. How? Because we brought in Jose Mourinho. We brought in Antonio Conte. Now, I know their egos are larger than life. But if they don't know how to organise and work teams to get winning mentalities to win, how?
Because that's what we need.
We don't need coaching. We need
to humble ourselves. I think what we need to do as a club, we need new players first and foremost, and we need to humble ourselves and realise that this is a long process that is going to be in place right now. Because at the end of the day, you look at every other club that are doing well, and I hate to mention them, but Arsenal gave the manager their time, got rid of who he wanted to get rid of, even if it meant they had to pay money towards those players. And they completely turned around. They had a plan. And at the end of the day, I do think a manager will help the situation at Spurs. But we all know, and I'm not even trying to, cover. I'm sick and tired of seeing these people upstairs completely, betray our manager, betray our team, betray our club, and keep people and sell people for reasons only to benefit themselves. There's no interest in the football team whatsoever. So players need to go. That, like you said, Sean, how many players did you mention? And that's just the defense that need to go. That's 5 players. And then you look at, Kane, who's maybe thinking about stepping out of this club. Son, who doesn't look like he's
do you know what? If Barcelona wants Son, I'll drive him there.
But what are you gonna get? What are you gonna get for him after this season? What do you think is feasible for a 31? Maybe what is he 32 this year?
31.
He's 31 this summer.
Yeah.
What are you gonna get for a 31-year-old son now who's just had probably one of the maybe
remember
worst
that's a
seasons
club
of his
that
career?
desperately needs finance, so they'll
We don't
pay
know.
what they
Yeah.
think they can get.
A lot of these players, we don't know what their mentality is. In terms of their mentality for staying at the club.
They
I
know
don't
it's
know
easy, Sam. It's easy
No, but
for them. You know?
I don't know what Son's thinking. Is Son thinking to himself, because when he plays for South Korea, he's not doing too badly. So he's
When
still got
Romero plays
ability.
for Argentina, he doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. These
All
players
clubs
have got
don't like
ability.
you.
They've still got ability. What it is something happens when they come to this club. They all look forward to going away for international breaks. Do you know what I mean? That can't be good. It can't be good. What the toxicity that must be around the club. I thought it had gone. I thought when we got Conte out, that toxicity had gone. But there's more in this club. I keep saying, unless we change more in this club, it doesn't matter who we bring in. Nagelsmann, they're talking about Nagelsmann. Why the hell would Nagelsmann come to Spurs? Why?
No way.
And you can't
No
tell
way.
me because he's got players he can work with. Well, we've had players who's working with him? We haven't got nobody to work with because the same players have been there for 5 years who have not helped anybody. Two of the world's best managers, and we had Poch, who was probably our best manager in recent times, and he couldn't.
So what?
Get
It's inevitable. So what happens then?
We have to go through the cycle of just no expectations, and these players will drop off after a period of time if they don't get sold. So this is what I'm saying. It's 5 years. But firstly, you have to set your target, your strategy, your vision. Set that. Don't do anything else. Once you've got that, you've achieved that, you know what you need to do, but then your time scale has to be realistic. If
Well,
we as
get rid
fans
of this
can't,
manager, get rid of this director of football then now. Don't
That's what
wait
I'm
till
saying.
April the 19th.
what Spurs playing at? Because even if he does get found not guilty,
He's not doing anything.
This case started
terrible.
before Levy even recruited the guy. This court case started before Levy even recruited the guy. Levy is the problem.
We all know
He's
this.
the only one. He's the only one who listens to Paratici. But what Paratici's got over Levy, I don't know. He's the only one he listens to, because any other CEO of a competent business would have sacked him, would have got rid of him, wouldn't even countenance recruiting him. But there's obviously, it's all about Levy putting up his fire guard around him. The good thing about this season is that fire guard is burnt to a cinder, and now the flames are looking around his little arse, and we'll see what cojones he's got, because I don't trust him. I don't. Do you know what? Last Saturday I was told they desperately want the NFL franchise. They desperately want the London franchise, to the point where they'll do a fire sale of Tottenham Hotspur.
Wow.
Because they'll make more in 12 NFL home games they will in 19 Premier League home games. That's
And
what I
also,
was told.
just on that comment, Sam, just to add on to what you were saying, and you as well, Sean, those two players who we have on the books are, you know, Lo Celso went to Argentina and had man of the match performance, literally man of the match performance. And Ndombele is on his way to winning a league title. So
I've told you already.
Anyway, here, my good friend Tom, who's been all over our comments tonight, I said this was before the game kicked off. He said tonight he would have gone 4-2-3-1. He would have picked Forster, absolutely. He'd have picked Porro, Romero, Dyer, and Longley. He'd have had Skip and Højbjerg, Kulusevski, Son, and Danjuma. I don't know about that one. And Kane.
Listen,
it doesn't matter.
These managers, the manager, Stellini and Brian Mason, Stellini's been the mouthpiece, said we're going to be looking at tactical flexibility and whatever. I saw nothing, not a thing to suggest to me that these players are doing anything tactically different. They're not going to change the formation to any four at the back. We do not have the personnel. We are lucky that we can at least somehow keep scores down with having three at the back. Now, saying that, we still ship goals, but we make mistakes. But if we had two at the back, and one of them had to be, let's say, because Romero and Dyer can't work as a two. Dyer is just too mistake prone, and Romero is just too rash. They can't make a combination that works, in my opinion. And if you throw Sanchez into the mix, you're just asking for a suicide mission. Porro is not a right back, in my opinion. He needs to be coached if he's going to play that role. And Perisic is not a left back, in my opinion. So he would need to be. We need to play other players there. We'd need to play Piscotty at left back, and you'd need to try and work out if, probably Emerson, if he comes back, he could probably play right back because that's what
Emerson's finished, done for the season.
Oh, happy days.
6
Well
weeks.
done.
6 weeks.
So that's that then. I can't see us changing to any sort of four in any way, shape, or form. No way. No bloody way. Final words, guys. Sean, take it away.
It's always good to have a chat with you boys after a game.
Same.
I'm going down on Saturday. The only reason I'm going is because my nephew, my brother-in-law are coming all the way from Perth, Australia to watch us, and I'm going to meet them. Whether I actually put my ample arse in my seat in the South Stand is still open to debate. It will depend on the team that's picked at 2:00. If I see certain players in the team, I'm staying exactly where I am. I'm not even bothering my fucking arse.
I was going to go. I'm not going now. I'm not going. Darius, final words, my friend.
I think I said my questions were answered after this game. I know what's going to happen for the next 9 games, so I'm prepared. I'm not going to be, raging and fuming and angry. I think the next time you'll see me seriously angry and clip worthy, should I say, is when we find out who our next manager will be, because I am holding a lot on that decision. Despite
who do you want?
Who do I want?
Who do you want?
If I
who do you think we'll get? Let's not.
Okay, yeah. I think it's going to be Brendan Rodgers. That is the last choice for me who I'd want it to be, but I think that makes all the sense in the world for both him and Daniel Levy. But I can't lie to you, I would want Julian Nagelsmann or Roberto De Zerbi, to be fair with you. So yeah.
Don't De Zerbi, that again, you can. He's a great coach, but it's the environment. You've got to think of the environment that you're bringing these managers into. De Zerbi, he's got everything he wants at Brighton because he's got patience. They're not gonna, you know what I mean? Graham Potter did exactly the same thing. You take Graham Potter out and put him into the Chelsea situation, which is bizarre, by the way, but that's the same sort of, right, we're going to throw you in. You're not going to be supported, so you have to find your way. I don't think it's for him. He'd be like a young Nuno.
Yeah,
that would be,
I mean,
in my opinion.
Potter turned us down, but he would have probably been. We would have been the right step for him to go to.
That would have been the right step for him.
Yeah,
that progression.
yeah.
Now, Brendan Rodgers, after Celtic, that should have been his progression. Tottenham would have been a good progression because he was buoyed up from winning the leagues in Celtic. But I know what he's like. I know his mentality.
Oh yeah, he's a fruitcake. Some of the things that he's said and done.
He is. He'll coach them really well, and he'll get you playing, and he'll give this idea that but behind the scenes, what he sometimes says to these players, they've come out and said it. It's weird.
There's a lot of names I'm seeing as well. I'm seeing the Celtic manager, Postecoglou. Is that how you pronounce his name?
What a manager he is.
He's a great guy, but again, like you said, Sam, you're bringing into a situation that they're not going to be able to work with. He gets the pick of the bunch from a great league in Japan, and he's able to mold a team that he wants to see. And I just think, again, you bring in me again, like I said, Nagelsmann for me would make the most sense because of somebody. In fact, let me take that way back.
David Clark's got it here. As much as I don't want inexperience, what I want to do is see this guy, give him a chance. The reason being, he's of that age where he's young enough to show these players, I've recently done this shit. He'll call out some of these, but he'd have to support him. You'd have to give Vincent Kompany 3 to 5 years, and you have to give him players, bring through some youngsters, and get rid of some of these other players. And I think he could really change the mentality of the whole thing, because as much as I said Conte would do that,
if Conte can't, you think Conte?
No, but the ego is too big. Conte's ego is too big because he wanted and expected certain things. If you said to Vincent Kompany, right, we've got this much money, I just want you to be able to just use us as a stepping stone for your next, because he's going to be our big major manager. Use Spurs as a stepping stone and change this mentality of the club. That's exactly what we need. He might not win anything, but I guarantee you this. After I saw that thing when he was blasting players at half time, there was not one player that would have stood up to him and said, I'm going to have because he would have knocked him out. That's what we need. We need players being knocked out. Players being knocked out by their manager and telling them, come on then. Because I know that's what would happen. He would just absolutely change those men, but you'd have to get rid of some of the players. We ain't got.
I think the players will have the power on him.
Under Pochettino, that happened, didn't it? The likes of the young players, the likes of Mason and that, confronted the bad apples, and just did them, and that made all the difference. He got rid of but there's just too many, and I heard his voice being sung from the stands again, Pochettino.
Oh no, man!
No. Because
who would you want?
Too many of the players that were there before are still there, and they got him the sack. Why? Oh no! Don't do that to Maurizio. I love the man, and I want him to come back at some stage, but not until every last one of Hugo Lloris's fucking own underachieving feet are out of the fucking ground. Oh, Jesus!
It's hard. It's hard, isn't it? This one was a hard one because, like I said, I wasn't. When I got up off the sofa watching that game, I was actually almost not non-fussed because I thought, I called it. But then I actually thought about the game, and then I thought about what some of the things that Don Goodman was saying. Unfathomable.
Goodman was excellent tonight, I have to say.
Unfathomable. That word, I loved that. I hadn't heard that for a long time, and it's true. You cannot.
How can you go 1-0 up, have one extra player on the field, and concede 80% possession?
And more shots, almost double the shots.
Oh, man.
This is Callum's my brethren there. You're not getting company. He's from the school of Pep. Again, this is what I'm saying. There is a mentality. The mentality, man. This guy. But like I said, I can't see it happening. And why would he want to do that? I would stay at Burnley if I was him, and then wait to see what happens.
What?
You know what I mean?
See if he does well in the Prem.
Just see how well he does because ultimately he's not going to stay at Burnley, whether he gets sacked or whether he moves on. Ultimately, he's just got to see what he's like in the Premier League. Now, again, do they give him enough time? What would happen? Blah, blah, blah. But I think Burnley would do well if he was there in the Premier League because they are going to be there this year anyway. Any manager that comes in and think he can coach some of these players, he's digging his own grave.
Yep.
I think, guys.
I think they call it that.
I think, guys, we might have to. There's a big game on tomorrow, Chelsea-Liverpool. But if you wanted to do a sneaky, I'm just going to see if a sneaky little talking points maybe off the back of the manager talk, and just maybe to get a bit more off your chest, lads. If you want to, we could always do that. Sid might be around as well.
I think we need to go through the squad and say go.
Yeah, I think we do need to do that first. I think
it's easier just to say who you're going to keep. That's all you're going to do. Who you're going to keep. That's probably the easier thing to do because I want to see a lot of those players go.
But is that going to happen?
No. So who do you want? Who do you want to keep? Is more.
So if you had to choose 4 or 5, maybe who would be the 4 or 5 that you'd get rid of? Because you're not getting rid of more than 5, I think.
Dyer has to go. Lloris, in my opinion, has to go.
Sanchez.
We have to start again. Sanchez has to go. He has to go. He's proven that he can't do it.
Be replaced, of course. They all to be replaced.
Yeah. Sessegnon.
Got to go, but he's fringe player. I'm just looking at even the first teamers that played tonight.
Well, David's just signed a contract, so
did he?
Son.
Is he signing a
contract?
As
much as I've said, Son has been a great player for us. There's something changed in his game dramatically at Spurs, and I think he has to go just for him. Kane, I don't want to see go, but I think he's going to go next year.
Oh, then we're in trouble.
Then
now we're in trouble.
That's what I'm saying. Even Jesus Christ couldn't save Spurs. It's truth. Any manager that comes in and think, I've done that one already. The players will get rid of them gone in weeks. If we get top 4, it's a miracle, guys. It will be
a
miracle.
I think we should get Robbie because after all, we are a charity. Jews nuts. We need 2 days to cool off for time.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably
you know what?
You might be right. You might have a good point there, Jews.
In 2 days, you don't even know what can happen at this club. We might have a whole load of news to talk about on Talking Points in 2 days.
Yes, Stellini hands his notice in.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do it.
I haven't seen his press conference yet.
That's going to be funny.
Lads, it's been a good one. Yeah, might be right. On Jews, man. Yeah, we need 2 days. I think you might be spot on with that one. Okay, I'm gonna apologize if I was a little bit ranty, and I apologize for talking over anybody tonight. That's
No,
not my usual
you're
style,
fine.
but I'm just bloody mad. I'm crazy mad tonight. And I wasn't when I started this show, but I am. It's Calvin Klein Undies. They're still pinching his nuts. And that is a great comment from Jews Nuts. That is brilliant. I don't think Kane is going abroad because his wife is expecting for. I think he's going to Manchester United, if anybody. And he's going to go there. He's going to walk there. But remember, I said this.
They've got the money set aside. It's just a question of.
Canners might like this. Canners might like this. I've said this, and you can clip me up, Canners. He could walk to Arsenal next season. No questions asked. But I don't think so. Anyway, let's end on that great note then. Sean, thank you very much. Darius, thank you very much. We're going to take Jew's advice, cool off for a bit. We'll watch the Chelsea-Liverpool game tomorrow, battle of the mid-tables. Sorry, I had to just get that in. I had to get it in somehow. I had to get it in because I've got money bets with Liverpool, man. So I want them to lose. To be fair, any more comments? I know it's this last one. Imagine those poor Spurs.
For God's sake! Again, brilliant. You could hear them all the way through the game.
They don't deserve that.
Do you know what? They're the only thing. Those away fans, our fans generally. Any club would want the loyalty and the dedication of our fans, given the thin gruel that we're forced to eat.
Literally,
Tottenham Hotspur fans.
The thin gruel indeed, man. Well, guys, Canners, I see you with that smiley face. I see you, fam. I see you. Don't worry, I see you. That's it. I've kept the hood on all stream. I was gonna wear the dressing gown, Darius, but I think Karis had it, so I just had
Karis has had it. Yeah, she's cheeky.
So
I need to find it. I'm gonna get my back.
I had to get out this hoodie instead, but this is going to be making a regular.
I'll take this t-shirt off and I'm straight into my Spurs pajamas. So I'm off to bed.
We're too loyal.
I'm wearing non-Spurs.
I'm representing, so it's okay.
That's what I'm going to be doing. Paxton or non-Spurs.
This t-shirt was ordered off of Amazon. Someone was asking earlier.
Yeah. Oh, I need to talk to you about it because that's a good print. I might need to get you a few t-shirts or tell me where to get that printed, and I'll get some printed up. And excuse me, Darius, Sean, thank you very much. We are out. We're going to put our
come on, you Spurs.
a little thanks, and then we'll go out with this.